Right now, we'll hear the story of how a woman reconstructed her family's missing past using only a handful of mysterious objects found after her father's death.
A really fascinating story, and it's what author Nancy K. Miller details in her new memoir, What They Saved, Pieces of a Jewish Past. And Nancy is here to tell you more about that life-changing journey. Nancy, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. And Nancy, you organized this book by the progress of this quest. Tell us about that quest, about that journey.
Okay. Well, I grew up as many third-generation descendants of immigrants, knowing absolutely nothing about my past.
About your background.
I had this vague story that my grandparents came from Russia, which was this very sort of mythical kingdom. And after my father died, and we emptied the apartment, I saw all kinds of photographs of people that I didn't recognize, but I thought certainly we were related to them, but who were they? But I had no idea how to begin looking for them, so I just stacked everything, put them in boxes, and pretty much forgot about it. And then in the year 2000, I got a phone call from a real estate broker in Los Angeles telling me that I had inherited property from my great-grandparents.
Oh my goodness.
And that seemed
like a scam.
Yes, exactly. And I thought, oh. And then I remembered that when I had looked at the papers the first time, I had seen a folder that said something like property in Israel. So after I got off the phone with him, I thought, let me see if I still, and of course, my father never threw anything away, and I never throw anything away. Therefore, I found the folder, and unbelievably, there were 3 canceled checks from 1926 where they actually had purchased this property.
Wow.
And so, in order for this man to sell the property now, they had to find all the heirs, and that turned out to be a cousin whom I had never met, who was the son of my uncle, whom I also had never met. And so I went to, it turned out they lived in Tennessee, and I flew from New York to Memphis to meet for the first time in my life.
Oh my gosh, what was that like?
It was very strange, and partly because of the age differences. So my cousin, here was my first cousin, and I'm meeting, I think I'm 60 and he's 79. So
wow.
Whoa. And and it turned out that his daughter had gotten interested in genealogy, and she in fact had even found a website with our family name, which is Kipnis. And on the website, there were what they call ship's manifests, where you could actually read from 1906 all the details of the passengers who had come over at that time.
Oh my God.
And so once I had that, then I had a way to begin. And I researched this book from 2000 until about 2010. So that was the journey. And the reason that I've ended up talking about that in Tucson is that this mystery uncle, whom I never met,
he's quite a character.
Is
this is Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
So it turns out, and this I learned in Memphis, and I didn't know anything, so I didn't know what to expect. But when my cousin said that the person she called Grandpa, who was my Uncle Sam, had worked as a gangster in the Bronx during Prohibition. And yes. And this pretty famous gangster called Dutch Schultz, he was known as the Dutchman. And so, during the 30s, there was quite a lot of shootings and, more famous criminals. But I don't think my uncle was a criminal. I mean, I think he was just sort of a hanger-on. And he used to go around and collect money from the businesses and then take the money to the Cotton Club, which is this famous nightclub in Harlem.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, in 1934, he moved to South Tucson, bought a bar in South Tucson, and that was the beginning of his sort of celebrity in.
And that's brought you here.
And so I came here. My father had 6 letters from this brother, and one of them was from 1967. Said that he had found a way to save the family name because only daughters had continued. And someone from the university had come to see him, and he had given them a scrapbook of all his clippings from being the mayor of South Tucson and whatever his other activities. And so I came out here in 2009, tried to find this scrapbook. It was nowhere to be found. And just as I was finishing my book and sending it to the publisher, suddenly I got a package in the mail, and the head of special collections at the university suddenly found this missing scrapbook and sent me some photocopies of the contents. And so I finished my book. I said that this thing existed, but I hadn't seen it. So on this trip, I went to the library. I went down to the archive, and I saw this scrapbook, which was actually a kind of ledger that had all his, it was very touching, and had all his clippings and letters and all kinds of things.
And it's one of many tools that you've used, obviously, to put this book together to reconstruct your past. And we're so excited for our viewers to take a look at it as well. Nancy, thank you so much for coming on the show and telling us about it.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And if you want to find out more about this book, so fascinating, go online to whattheysaved.com.